Hello everyone, welcome you all to my YouTube channel, and today we are in class 7. The course structure for today's class is inheritance and keyword extents, inheritance, chain and override, super keyword, final keyword, overload versus override, access modifier, encapsulation, keyword this, and abstract class. Interface we will do in next session, but just for a small introduction, I will tell you about what is abstract class in today's session. So let's get started about inheritance. What inheritance actually is. Right, so let me delete this here and let me open the page. So the very first thing over here is inheritance. So we know that inheritance is a part of the four pillars of OOP concept, right? The OOP concept is a pie, where I means inheritance, right? So that's the that is one of the four pillar of the OOP concept of Java. So inheritance means uh, taking some common factors from one generation to another generation, right? So that is known as inheritance. In Java also it is the same meaning. Let's say I do have some classes. Fine. Let me delete this part. Let's say I have some of the classes. So, see, I have class 1, or you can say class A. I do have class B. So if the class A is considered as the child class and class B is considered as the parent class, right? We use another terms also for these classes, like for child class we can use the keyword as subclass, and for the parent class we can use the super keyword like super class, right? This will be considered as super class or parent class, and it will be considered as child class or subclass. So the parent class might have multiple methods, right? And the subclass also or the child class also can have multiple methods. But the thing is, how can we use all the methods from this parent class to this child class without creating the objects, without creating any object? How can we use all the methods or all the coding whatever is available in the parent class to our child class? So that is the concept, this concept of using all the data that is available over here from one class to another class comes under the concept of inheritance. And here we will use a keyword, that keyword is extends. Means child class will extend the parent class. So this is the keyword, that a child class is going to extend a parent class, or we can say in other words subclass is going to extend a super class, right? And this concept comes under the OOP concept inheritance. Once class A, if this class is extended class B, so everything whatever is available in this class will be accessible by the child class or class A. How can we do that? Let's see in our Eclipse over there right now. So let's create a session, Java project, and the session is what? Session 7, right? Let's check if it is selected here. No, so finish it. Session 7 is there, and now we will create a package. Then the package name is what? We simply can say inheritance, right? Finish. So in inheritance package we are going to create some classes. Class A with main method. Finish. And then just to class B package class, we can say class B and no main method. Finish. And let's create one more class, and the class C will be without main method. Finish. So now in class A, I have this main method to run the program. Let's say I have another method here like public static void, and let's say test A. test A, and this is the body of the method, and I can say here sys and here is test A. Then another method, one more method I want to create here, that is this is test A1 and this is test A2. This is test A1 and this is test A2. Similar type of method let's create in the class B. Here we don't have any main method, we simply can create over here, and we can say B1, B2 and B3, and here B1 and B2, right? And in class C also we can have test C1, test C2, test C1 and test C2. So that's how we have these methods. Oh, C over here. And let's make the second method non-static. This is the non-static one. In B also I want to make it non-static, and A also I want to make it non-static, right? So the very first thing, if I want to call method test A1 over here, what I need to do? Test A1, and I can call it like that. If I want to call test A2, what I need to do? I need to create an object for that. So creating an object will be like this. Creating an object will be class A, and we can say CA equals to new class A, and sorry, this will be class A, and we simply can say the object CA dot test A2, because this is a non-static method. We already have discussed about it, right, in previous class. So that's how we can call them. Let's say I want to call this method. I want to call test B1 and test B2 from class B to class A. So how can I do that? If I want to call test B1, what I need to do, because this is a static method, because here it is a static method, I simply can say uh, class B dot, and it is all good because it is a static method. And for the non-static method, what I need to do? For the non-static methods, same thing I need to do, that I need to create a object, right? Like what? Class B new, sorry, class B CB equals to new, and it will be class B, and further it will be CB dot test B2, right? That's how we can call, oh sorry, it is C upload. That's how we can call test B2. And similarly, we can call from class C also test C1 and test C2. So let me create it over here. Let me do this over here. Like I just need to change C and C, right? And here also C, and we can say here also, and we can say here also, and here also, and here also, and everything is good, right? So what are we doing? We are creating for each class objects, right? For C class C also I created object, for class B also I created object. What we are doing, we are going to create object for each class again and again. And now if I will run my code, these will give me result from each and every class. But the thing is, the concept comes over here is reusability of code, right? So reusability of code, and the concept is what? Inheritance. Oh, we can say the OOP concept. Whatever is there in OOP concept, everything is for the reusability, right? Everything will be coming for reusability of the code. So same thing will come with inheritance. And now what can we do? Will it not be so good that if we have only one object and we can do everything, we can print everything, or we can call each and every method from all the other classes, right? For that, what we need to do is we need to inherit another class. How can we inherit? We will put here class B, and between class A and class B, use a keyword as extends. Now once you extends, once class A is extending class B, or we can say class A is what? Class A is now a child class because class A is extending class B. So class B became parent class A became child class, or we can say class A became subclass and the class B became superclass. Let me bring it back here. Right? So it is subclass and superclass. Fine. So now what we want? We want to use one object, one CA, right? Previously, if let's say I don't have this piece of code, right? I don't have this over here. Then what happened if I will delete this? Instead of using CB, if I am using CA over here, it is not working. If I am using CA over here, it is not working. Right? This object CA that I have created for class A, it is not working in neither here nor here. Right? And if I am saying if I says that class A works here or class A works here, that is also not working, right? But now let me do extends, and here I want to do class B, right? Class B. So you can see very easily that class A test B1 is working good, and CA dot test B2 is also working good. Both of these things get satisfied. If I do delete this object for class B now, then I have cleared a line of code from here, and I am using I'm using these piece of code without creating any object over there. Means I'm reusing by just putting a keyword extends over there, by just putting them as subclass and superclass. So now C1 is not working, right? C1 is not working. And if I says over here, let's put comma and let's put class C. So this thing is not possible in inheritance. Inheritance means one class can inherit only one other class, not the two classes. So this is not possible over here. How can we do then? How can we do? Just go to class B, and if I will say right now this is having the error, this piece of code is having error, so what can we do? Just simply put over here extends class C, extends class C. Once I did that, the error has gone. Now what happened? Class A extending class B and class B extending class C. So what will happen? Class A will become grandchild and class B become parent and class C will become as grandparent. So this is the chain connection. This is called as the chain connection. How the chain connection is? If I delete from here, the chain connection will be what? It will be class A to class B and class B to class C. So class A is what? Right now class A is the child class, class B is the parent class C is the grandparent class. Or we simply can say grandchild, grandparent, and this is the parent. So that's how a linear relationship happen over there. This is known as the inheritance chain, and it cannot be circular. Meaning the parent cannot, this grandparent cannot inherit class A. How? How is it? If I go to class C and if I'm saying that extends class A, so this is not possible. You can see the error come over there. Why? Because the hierarchy of class C is inconsistent. Why hierarchy is inconsistent? Because class A is already extending class B. So this will become a circular relationship, and circular relationship is not possible over here. It should be linear. So this is the linear inheritance chain, right? So this piece of code, everything is fine, satisfied now. But the thing is, we have a object for class C here. What we need to do is we can simply delete it from here. The piece of code can be deleted, and this is class A satisfied. Let's see, like test A1, is it possible to do as test C1? Right? We do not need even to put the class name before that. So it has become so easy. It has become so easy, and in few lines only, after extending, instead of using so many lines or so much of coding over there, we are doing it very neatly and cleanly by creating just object of the one class. That's what we can do. And this is known as the inheritance from class A to class B to class C. Now, can we use the same object over here to call the methods from class A in class B or class C? Let's see. If I'm here and I'm saying that I want to call this object. Let me use this object from here. Oh, wait a second. Where is this? Hmm. What we'll be doing over there? Let's do one thing. Let's take this piece of code. Let's put it here. And instead of class A, I'm creating an object for class B. CB over here, and B over here, and B over here, be over here, right? So this is fine, but instead of by creating the object, right, instead of taking it from there to here, let me use the class B object in class A itself, right? So this is the class B object, right? Class B object, and I want to use this class B object for test A1 or A2. If I'm using it for test A2, you see that it started showing me the error. Why? Because for for class A, I cannot use the object from the class B. For class B, I can use the object from class A, but for class B, I cannot use it like that. Same thing will happen over here, even if I am doing in this method. In this method, if I want to create an object for class B, and I'm doing it as CB equals to new, and then class B and this, and then I am using as okay, not for class B, let's say create it for class C, because class C is the parent class, right? C, and over here C, and then if I want CC, C dot the method as test B, test. So it is providing me the object, giving me two options, test C2 and test C1, not test B2. I cannot do here as test B2. So it means that the object from the this is the parent class. The object from the parent class cannot be used to call the child method. It cannot be used to call the child method. Here also and here also the same thing. So we cannot do like that. So this is the whole concept of the inheritance. This is the whole concept of inheritance. Now what if I want, let me get back here. So which thing we covered here so far? Inheritance with keyword extend, inheritance chain, super keyword we didn't do that until now, and we will be using final keyword, right? Let's do that. Let me get back to my presenter. So now this is my child class and this is my parent class. And in my parent class, I have method test B2. And what if, let me delete all this part because this is not necessary now. What I want to create a method over here as public static void test B2. You see, test B2. And here, let me say CISO. And in CISO, I want to say class A test B2. This is like test B2 but in class A. not in class B, right? So how can I define this thing, that having the same name method, in the child class from the parent class also has test b. Okay, this test b2 is let me make it non-static the same way. Let me make it non-static, right? Because in class b2, test b2 method is what? It is non-static. So I am going to make it over there also as non-static. If I was having it, as static, let me put there as the keyword back, static. So if I hover over here, it is saying remove static modifier for test b2. Though we can create, but because we already have the test b2 as a known static over there, so we are doing this with like known static. And also we can have the same name method as test a1. Let me put it here. And let me put this one also from here to at the end of this one so that it will be clear. And here I'm saying test b1 and it is class A, right? Class A test A1, test b1. So that's how we can create the same name method in child class also from whatever is available in parent class. But what we are saying, we are doing the body like different body. We are giving the different code in the body of that method. But this concept, when we are using the same name method in the child class, while this was already available in our parent class, this concept is known as method overriding. Method overriding. We have another concept, that is the method overloading. That method overloading is from the OOP concept polymorphism, but this method overriding is from the OOP concept inheritance. We having the same name method, right? Here we didn't do any change in the in this inside this argument section, right? We are not changing the argument. We are giving just the same name, same argument, and the method has been generated in the child class. Like we are in two different classes. When we are in two different classes, the concept of same name method is overriding. When we are generating the same name method in the same class, then the method is known as the that concept is known as the method overloading. Okay, so now if I am calling here, let's say test b1, right? Test b1. So if I will run this program now, what result should it give me? It will give me the result from my child class. If I will run this program right now, it will give me class A test B1. This result it is giving me. How can I get this from here? From my from my parent class, if I want to get the result, I need to create an object, right? Class B, CB, let's say CB, and then equals to new class class B, and then it will be CB dot test B2, right? And if I will run now, it will be giving me everything, right? From test B2 from class B and class A test B1 from class A. But when we already know the concept of extending or inheritance and we using the keyword extends, then why to do this much of the coding over there? If I have multiple methods over here, so what do I need to do? I always need to use the object for that. Even if for like if I'm calling class B dot test B1, then also I need to use the class name. If I will not use the class name, and if I will run my program, it will give me the same name method from here, from the child class only. And if I'm using the class name over there and I will run it, then it will give me from the parent class. So instead of creating so many of things over there, what can I do? I simply can create a non-static method like public void, and let's say this is just test test and the body of the method. And inside the body, what can we do? Inside the body, we simply can say test b1, that is from this class itself, right? Test b1, and then further we can use a keyword as super dot test b1. Oh, right? Test b1. And what it will, let me remove this part. I don't want to get confused over here with this. I will use only the method test over here. And once I will use method test here, because it is non-static, what I need to do over here, I need to create an object for my main class. Class A CA equals to new, and class A, and just simply use this CA dot. If for here, because this yeah, simply use this C object, and we can put all the method here, right? Test b2, test b2, right? Test b2, and then further we can use super dot test b2 from the parent class. So now, without creating any object further, if I have 100 of methods over here, I simply will using super keyword in a non-static method, and just calling that method over here by the same object of my child class, and then can access parent method and the child method both. Static or non-static doesn't matter. You can see all have been coming from the parent and the child class. So that's how the super keyword works over here in the inheritance. In inheritance. So you can see here we use the super keyword. Now the final keyword. How does method overload and overriding we already covered. Now the keyword is final keyword. How does the final keyword work? Let me go back to Eclipse. So the final keyword works in inheritance also. How does it work? If I'm in class B, if I am in class B, and let's say this is the test B1, and I am putting a keyword over here as final. Before the name of the method, this is the signature of the method, and I'm putting a final keyword over here. Now if I will go to my class A, you can see here that this piece of code where I created the same name method is showing me error. Why? Because I use the final keyword here, and it is telling me when you are using a final keyword over here, you cannot use this method for overriding anymore. Once I'm using a final keyword, the method cannot be overridden. So here you cannot override this method if you're using the final keyword over there. Let's now remove this part, and now if I put a final keyword before the class name, before the class, right? After the access modifier before the class, if I'm using a final keyword, then you can see over here that everything started freaking out. It is showing error everywhere now. Why? Because once you use the final keyword over here before the class name, it's saying that now you cannot inherit the class. The inheritance by using the keyword extends is not possible anymore. That is final keyword do. So if we are using a final keyword before a variable, the variable cannot be changed. If we are using a final keyword before the method cannot be override. If we are using a final keyword before the class name, the class cannot be extended or inherited. That is the final keyword does. Now let's come over here. Let's come over here that we have hoop concept. Just for a simple revision, this much of the concepts we covered here up to now. Let's get back to the slide so that we can at least have a clearance about that. Hoop concept, 4 pillars we have: pi, abstraction, P polymorphism, I inheritance, E encapsulation. So now polymorphism we covered by using the multiple behavior, method overloading, having same name method, but having the different arguments, right? Inheritance, we are using a keyword extends. The concept overriding comes over here, and rule is you can inherit only one thing. One class can extend only one other class. It can create a chain inheritance, but can never end up in a circle. It can override the inherited method, but making a same method in the child class. So that is the polymorphism concept and the inheritance concept, right? Next thing is what is inheritance and extend in this slide. So a single class can only extend the only one other class. Inheritance chain can be created from A to B, B to C. This way A is inheriting B and C, right? Indirectly, A is inheriting what? All the things from the grand parent class, or we can say super class of grandparent C, right? Inheritance circle is not allowed, only linear chain, right? Method override in inheritance means having the same global level variable in parent and child class, having the same method in parent and in child class. When you do have override, and if you want to use access the parent method, then use the keyword super. The rule for using super keyword, it should be used in a non-static method, non-static function, or non-static context. To stop from override to the parent method, we have to use final keyword. To stop class from being inherited, we have to use final keyword before the class. So this is the concept. Next is what? Next is access modifier. So far we have used the terms, over here, like public, right? Public everywhere. So this public is the access modifier. This public is the access modifier. Let's say I don't have this test B and test B2 over here. I am not having this non-static method over here. I don't have this class over here, and I'm deleting all of them, going back from the concept of inheritance. I am not extending anything, right? So this is the class. I'm sorry, this class B, right? And let's save everything. Now we have class A, main method, test A1, test A2, class B, test B1, test B2, class C, test C1, test C2, right? Now we will cover the concept of access modifier. So this is the slide of access modifier. So here what are the access modifiers? There are 4 types of access modifier: the default access modifier, private access modifier, protected access modifier, and the public access modifier. So you have already seen that when we have a public access modifier, what can we do? The same class, and we can access each and everything. If it is public, if the method is public, we can extend it very easily, right? So let's see how. We have test A1, we have test A2. This is non-static, sorry, this is static and this is non-static. So if I will say test A1, it can be accessed. And if I will say class A is equals to class A and equals to here new class A, okay, 2 times, we can do CA dot test A1 and test A2, right? Test A2. So both of the methods can be accessed if it is public, right? And now if it is public, it can be accessed in the same class. Next thing over here is same package subclass, same package and subclass, right? So subclass meaning is, what is the meaning of subclass? Subclass meaning is A extends B, class B. That is the meaning of subclass, right? So let me delete this part. We might not need it. So what I'm doing, I will comment this section, right? I am using only the static methods so far. Everything is like about public. We can understand this the way the static method working, the same way the non-static will be working for the access modifier. So let's do it. Class B, if I want to use test B1 over there, what can I do? I'll be using test B1. Where it is? Test B1. And it is extended. We have 1 second. What is the wrong? Class B. I'm not. Oh, final. Because we are still. I forgot to delete the final keyword. That's why it's freaking out over here. That cannot extend. So what we need to do? We will delete this final keyword. And now we can access test B1. So the concept is what? Concept is public access modifier, same class. Yes, we can use. Same package subclass. Yes, we can use. Same package known subclass. And here you can see this is the same package, right? This is the inheritance package. This is also the inheritance package, right? So same package, known subclass. If I delete this part, how can I use it? I will simply do the object creation. If I will create an object, let me do it for class B. I'm creating an object for class B. And if I will use this object CB before the method name CB dot, so it can be done. I am able to use it, right? Though I do not need to do for the, if I will be doing as the class name only in the same package, class B dot test B1, it is also good. We have seen, for the same package known subclass also public modifier can be the method with the public access modifier is accessible. Now different package subclass and different package known subclass. So here we don't have any different package. What we need to do? Let's create a different package. Let's say it is a inherit 2. Inherit 2. Right? Inherit 2. And here I have a class, and class is, let's say, class test. Class test. Finish. Right? Class test, finish. And here I do have a method as public static void and test method only. And this is this one, right? So right now this is from the different package. This is from the different package, and I want to use it in class A, right? Right. So from the different package, how can we use? If I want to use this test method, how can I use? Let's go there. Is it possible to use it like as class test dot, and it is the test method. Test method. See, when I did this import keyword over there, right? It has imported automatically. Sometimes when you connected a package is what? Packages inherit 2 for class test, and for class A the package is inheritance. So sometimes Eclipse will import another package without anything. It will automatically import another package, meaning it is connecting one package to another package. If I delete this part from here, you can see it is freaking out, right? We were using this test method with the class name from the different package, but the condition is that we need to put here import. Sorry, we need to put a keyword import between the package and the class name, and then we have to give the package name and dot the class name. Or if we want to, if there is only one class, so we are giving that class name. If we want to use, if there are multiple classes in this package, what we need to do? We will simply put the asterisk over here, this asterisk, and that's how we can access all the classes that have been generated in that particular package over there. So this is to access for the all the classes from that package. Right now our class name is class test. So let's keep that. So that's how we can get it. So the public with the access modifier as public, this is also all good. We don't have any issue with this one also. Now the next thing is that different package known subclass, right? It was the known subclass, right? We didn't do with the known subclass. We did this with the known subclass. Now let's do that with extends, and we are using the class test, right? So that in that situation, even if we don't use this is all good. This is all good. This is coming from the class test. This test method is coming from the class test if we are inheriting it. So this is what we did with the public access modifier, that when it is in the same class it can be accessed, when it is in the same package subclass it can be accessed, when it is in known subclass same package can be accessed, different package subclass it can be accessed, different package no subclass still it can be accessed. Now everything we can do with all the other access modifiers. Very simple to do. Let's go to class B over here, and I'm deleting this modifier, public modifier. And you can see test A1. Let me do it with the same class, right? We are not extending anything, and I'm just deleting all the extents, and no even import so far. Okay, let's import it, and let's import it and delete this one. Let's extend this. Extends class test. No worries. This will not bother us. So test B1 over here, and if I'm doing test B1 from here with the default modifier, when you not putting any access modifier over there, it means it's the default one. So this is the default access modifier, and test B1 is all good with the default modifier here, and it can be accessed. Class B2, and I'm putting here now protected. When I'm putting protected, does test B1 is still good? It is still good. So it is all fine. And when I'm putting here private, you can see now it started freaking out with the subclass with the same pack. Wait a second. With the default with the same class, if we have the same class default. Okay. If we have the same class, test A1 is good with the public. If I'm deleting public, test A1 is good with default also. And if I'm saying protected, it is good with protected also. Test A1 is good with protected also. And even if I'm putting here private, it is good with the private one also, right? So this concept over here from the same class, yes, same class, access modifier, all the access modifiers are good. Now with the same package subclass, let's do first known subclass, this one, same package known subclass. So you can see class B is a known subclass, right now A is not extending it. So when known subclass, and I did it with the public, protected, and default, it was good, but when we use the private it started freaking out. So with the private one, from another class to from one class to another class we cannot access it. So it is clearly no for the private method. For known subclass it is no. And if this is extending it, let's say extend class B, still it is freaking out. It is still freaking out because this test B1 over here is private and it cannot be accessed. It cannot be accessed, right? Now let's go back. Next thing, fine with it is clear that private cannot be accessed, no, neither in the subclass nor in the known subclass, and protected can be for both, and a default can be for both. Now let's go to another package, right? Another package but subclass and known subclass. Let's say right now class test is from where? It is from another class, it is from the another package, right? And here you can see when even it has the public, what can we do? We simply need to use the class test dot, right? We can use the class name. So with the public modifier, it is good. And if I'm using here instead of public, the default one, with the default, it is not good. And when I'm doing it private, it is also not good. If I'm doing it as protected, you can see here with the protected one also, it is not good. So you can see here with the private, nothing is good. And if it is a no subclass, with the protected also, it is not accessible. And for default also, if it is no subclass, it is not accessible. The only thing left is this one now. Let's see if different package and subclass, then protected will work or not. And these two definitely not will work. And if I will change here, we are using this one, extend class, we saying just test, right? And you can see this is good. Why? Because this was protected. But if I say over here private, it will not be good. So that's how our access modifiers works with public, default, and the protected. Public, default, private, and protected access modifiers. So public methods can be accessed by any way, either extending or not, or no, either extending for the different packages or for the same packages in the same or in the same classes. We can have the subclass, we can have known subclass, we can have sub package with different package subclass from different packages and known subclass from different packages. For public, access modifier is accessible. From protected, different package, no subclass cannot be accessed. If you want to access from different package, you need to make the protected to like subclass. For private, you can access only in the same class, not in any other class. For the default one, what do you need to do? For default one, it can be accessed within the same package and same class with subclass and known subclass. But different packages cannot be accessible for the default one. So this is all about the access modifier. Okay. And we can explain it by one more means. Let's say this is the house, right? This is your house. Let me get the shapes from here. Okay. So let's say this is your house. And in this house, you have few things, right? You have one of your room, and that room belongs to you only, right? And one of the thing is like your hall area, one is your backyard, and let's say one are like few of the rooms over there. So what will happen in your room, everything belongs to you. That's like same class, right? Even if you have some locker, you have some password or anything, but you are the owner of the room, you can access everything, whether it is private or not private. But if your family members coming, they don't have the access to few things. You can consider them as the like same package, different class, right? They cannot access the few things. So that the same thing, right? If you are the owner, like you making the private things over there in your room, then other people cannot access it. No one can access it other than you. So that's the thing. So for the private one, for the private class, if you talk over here, if you see over here for the private one, other than you, no one can access it. And if you go to the default one, if you will let's say before that public, let's see the public. You have the hall area, right? In the hall area, you have nothing to be keep secret over there. Your guest can come there, your family members can come over there, your relatives can come over there, your friends can come over there. So it is the public area. It's the public area, so everyone can access it. You don't have any issue with that. So the same way over here, you can see this can be public, can be accessed with anyone. So next is the protected area, right? Let's say this is your backyard. Inside your backyard, you are not allowing any unknown person. The neighbors you are not allowed in your backyard. Other than neighbors, your family members are allowed, your relatives are allowed, your Friends are allowed in your backyard, but your neighbor people whom you don't know, you they are not allowed in your backyard area. So that will work like protected, right? Now for default one, now for default one, if you have the rooms, right, you have the rooms, and inside in these rooms, like your kids can stay there, right, your other family members can stay over there, but you are not allowing any of your neighbor person or any of the strangers or any of like or any other your friends to stay in that room. So that room will be worked as the as the default one, the default room, but it is not accessible by few people only. It is accessible only the like your relatives and your children and you. So that's how this access modifier works, like the access that you have given to the users. So this is the access modifier ended up over here for this class. And now let's see what else we have. We have the encapsulation, this keyword, and then okay. Now let's get back to the encapsulation. Encapsulation meaning is you have the data, you have some data to hide. It is known as the data shielding. Shielding, like you have the data but no one can access it, meaning you making the data private. And when you making the private, how can anyone get it? So that's the concept come under encapsulation. If you go there in the slide, we have one second, we have the encapsulation. Mhm. Okay. Okay, fine. I will explain here. So we have the concept of encapsulation, like that we have some data as a private. How to access those private data? So for using all that, we need to create the getter and the setter method in the same class. Getter method and the setter method in the same class. That concept will known as the encapsulation. Now let's go to Eclipse and let's create a package, and the package name is encapsulation, right? And finish encapsulation. And then we are going to create, let's close all the classes from here, save 3, and then create a class over here, and let's create a class as class A and main method, finish. And then we have another class B and without main method. And in class B I have two kind of uh, global variables: public, static, static, and let's say it's an integer, a variable name, and the value is 23. And next one is I have the private, and let's say I have string, and I have it as b, and the value is hello. So what happened over here? I want to access this private string b from here to here. How can I do that? Right? How can I do that? If I will say CISO, over here, and I'll say print B. So you see, it is saying that it is not accessible, but let me extend it here. If I say extends class B, and here it is still like change it to protected or something else, then only it will be accessible. That's what it is telling me, right? Even after extending the class B. So how can I get this B from here to there? That is the concept for encapsulation. How I will be doing it? Let me go here and I will create some methods. Which method I can create over here? Let's say public. And because I want to get the value, right? I want to get the value from here. So I'll be saying public static void get. Let's say I'm working with B. So I will say get B. and this. So for getting b, because b is what? B is a string, and getting the value, what I need to do? I need a return type. If I need a return type over there, then instead of void, I need to put that data type string. And then if I hover over here, it will give me the return statement. And in return, I want this b over there. Right. So there we can see the error is still over there, right? So what we have to do, because this is what this method, sorry, this variable is a non-static variable. So we need to delete this static keyword from here, and now it will be all good. Right. Now if I want this value from here to my this class, how can I get it? If I says instead of this, if I says over here get b, this get b method, right? Method class b. We want to call this get b from class b to class a. So let me delete this part first. We are not extending, right? We are not extending. We are just creating the getter and setter method. So the very first thing, because here this main method is a static method and our this get b method is a non-static method. So the very first thing what we need to do is we will create a object for class b as cb equals to new, and it will be class and it will be b, and then we can use this cb object. Let me use this cb dot get b. You can see the get b method is available now. Just hit enter and get b will be available. So now if I will run my program here, it will give me the value of string b hello. If I change this value hello again, it will, and if I will run my program here in the main method, so it will give me hello again. So that's how we can get that value from the private non-static variable from this class b to class a. Right, so this is our getter method. Now if we want to change the value, how can we change the value? So to change the value, there is another method that we will be using a public, because it is the non-static string. So what we have to do, public, and we will be doing void, not static, right? Get, sorry, here we'll be using set b. And because we are setting b, so what we need to do here is when we are setting a value, we need to pass some value here so that we can use it. So we will be using how? We'll be doing string, let's say string b. And as this is a non-static method, we can use a keyword as this dot b equals to b. And you can see this global variable b is now indicating towards this local variable b. So this is one way to do that. Either we can use here as class b dot b equals to this, or because it is non-static, so uh, because it is non-static, we need to create an object class b cb equals to new class b and this, and we can use the object as cb dot b equals to this. Either we can do this way by creating an object, but because this is a non-static method, in the static in the because it is a non-static method, so what we need to do, instead of using the object of the class, we simply can use the keyword this. Right, that's what we were talking in our encapsulation here, encapsulation and keyword this. So that's how we can use that keyword this over here. So this is the getter and setter method. Now, if I want to call this set method, what I need to do is I will be simply doing as cb dot set, right? cb dot set, and do that. And here you can pass the value like welcome. Now, last time the value was coming as for get b as hello again. Now, if I use this piece of code after the setting value, after setting the value, then it will give me welcome. Let me run the program and you can see. That's how we have created the getter and setter method in the same class. Where do we have this private variable? right? And now for the public static one, what how can we do? If I am here and I'm doing CISO, and let's say CISO is what? CISO A, right? And if I'm calling it by the class name as class dot A, right? Class B dot A. It's class B dot A. And if I will run my program right now, it will give me 23 from this class, right? So with the public modifier or public access modifier, this is all good to get it. With the private one, we need to set the getter and setter methods like that. And this the same thing we can do with the integer also, the way we did over here. If you want to see that, let me make it private. If I'm making it private, it will start freaking out in over here that A cannot be done like that. So how to get the method for how to get the methods for integer type, integer type private variable, we have to use the same thing. We can use the same concept, and let me copy it over here. Instead of get A, we can do it get. Instead of doing get A, we can do it get. Sorry, instead of doing get B, we can do it get A. Instead of setting B, we can do it set A, right? And because it is giving us the integer value, so what we have to do here, instead of string in get A, we will be putting here as int, and here instead of putting B, we have to give A, right? And then over here, instead of giving string, we will be doing int in the argument. And now it is freaking out over here. Why it is freaking out? Let's check. If I hover over here, it is saying B to int, right? Because it is A, right? So just A to A, it will be. And here, because it is the this one is the static one, we can do is as static, and to this one also we can do static, and we do not need to use the keyword this over here in the static method like we are doing in non-static method. We simply can use the class name, class B, and oh sorry, here integer A we have to. So that's how. That's why I was showing you the example for static and non-static over there. So with static, this one we can do. With non-static, we can do it like that. We use this keyword in the non-static method, and for static one, we need to use the class name. So now this thing that we have generated this, but actually we do not need to generate it like that. If I delete here and if I do right click and if I go to one more thing, let me delete all this part. Let me comment this out so that this will not be affecting. So if I go here and right click here, I'll go to source, and here you can see generate getter and setter. Click on that. Okay. Type that declares such operations. Wait 1 second. Let me save everything. Let me refresh. Sometimes this can happen, so you need to just have some patience. And this is the here, and then go back to the source and go to generate getter and setter, right? Now you can see it is coming over there. So what we have to do, if we want to generate the getter setter for A, for only A, we can select A, right? We can select A, and simply we can say generate. It will generate you the same way what we have generated, right? But if we want to generate back, for go to source and go to generate getter and setter, and for B, then you can do it for generate, and it will use keyword this for non-static, right? And if you don't want to do one by one for each one, how can you do? Like, you have choices. I'm just showing you that you do have options for how many you want or how many do. If you want to create for one variable, you can select that variable. If you want to see 2 or 4, if you want to create for both, you can select both and generate, and it will give you all the 4 getter and setter all together. So that's how, this is the concept of encapsulation, that you have some hidden data over here, the private data that you don't want anyone to access. And but there is a gateway, and the gateway is what? Gateway is the encapsulation, and inside this gateway of encapsulation we do have the getter and the setter method. For static and non-static we have to generate, and then we can use this keyword in the non-static method. After generating the getter and setter method in the same class, we can use them in the other class simply. If I comment this out, it will be all. We can use all here. And now if you want to print here, let's say get a, or if you want to do set a also you can do set a. And for set a, the integer is there, let's say 67. So get a, set a, right? And here also we can do Control C, and we can do here is as B, right? We can use, I think, this without, let me check. Set A, Control Z, right? C. Okay, it means that just use the class name because it is the static one. So class B is fine to use for set 67. And here also you can use this class name because that is the static method, right? So that's how get a. Here also no need to use the object, right? So now if I will run, it will give me the get B and the value for B and A, and here it will be giving me after updating. So you can see hello again and 23. These were the initial values, hello again and 23. And after setting, what we set it? We set it welcome and we set it 67. So it has given me welcome and 67. So it is the concept of encapsulation. I hope it is like very clear to all of you. Now there is another concept, that is the abstract class. Yeah, right? Or abstract or interface. So because for this video, I think the time is pretty. Let me check where it has gone. Right. So time is really running out for this video, more than 1 hour. So let's get back for this abstract and interface in the next session, and we can cover that in class number 8 for this abstract and interface both. Let me put it over here. Let me put that over here from this to this, right? And simply delete it from here. So I will cover this abstract class and interface in our next session, session 8. So thank you very much for all of you to watch my videos and for your likes and shares. And also I'm able to see some comments, and really thank you very much, and see you in the next session. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.